In the previous lectures, we've seen different ways to read text files with Python. Now, it's time to see how to write to a text file. The process is simple. There is the write method that writes any string to an open file. This method does not add a new line character, so a \n, to the end of the string. Let's see an example. With open, the name of the file, myfile.txt. This time, the file must be opened in write mode. For this, W access mode is used. As f myFileObject, colon, and the with block of code, f.write, and a string. Just a line. And I'll execute the script. In the same directory with my Python script, a new text file called myfile.txt appeared. This is the text file. Take care that the file will be created if it doesn't exist and overwritten if it already exists. A very common mistake is to overwrite a file by using the W mode instead of opening the file in append mode, which means adding new content to the end of the file. We'll see some examples with append in a short while. Anyway, if I write here, let's say ABC, and I execute the script again, my file.txt has been overwritten, so take care. Let's write a second line to the file. Just a second line. And I'll execute the script. We notice that it didn't add a new line, so a \n. We need to manually include the \n in the string we write to the file if we want new lines. So here I should have written \n. Now it looks okay. Let's see a new example. I'll show you how to preserve the existing content by appending to the end of the file. If we don't want to overwrite the file but to append to the end, we must use the A mode, which stands for append. So instead of W, I use A. Let's execute the script. And we see how it added the new content at the end of the file. This is the new content that has been appended. There wasn't a \n after the second line. If I want a \n, so a new line, I must add it manually. And these are the lines that have been appended. When using append mode, Python creates the file if it doesn't exist or appends to the end of the file if it already exists. Also note that we don't have access to the cursor, it always adds to the end of the file. If I write here myfile1, this file doesn't exist, it will create the file. This is the new file. It starts with a \n, then adds ABC, a new line, and this string. Exactly as we see here. In the last example of this lecture, I'll show you how to open a file for both reading and writing. For this, we use the R+ access mode. Let's see an example. With open, the name of the file, configuration.txt, and I am opening the file for both reading and writing, R+, as f. And now f.write line added with R+, \n. And I'll execute the script. And surprise! We see how it added the content at the beginning of the file, not at the end. If we want to add content to a specific position, we can use the cursor, which is available when using the R+ mode. Let's see an example. f.seek, let's say 5. I am moving the cursor on position 5. And then f.write, let's say 100. And we see how it wrote the value 100 starting from position 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As I said earlier, we can both read and write to a file when opening the file using R+ mode. f.seek 10 and then print f.read, and I am reading 3 characters starting from position 10. And these are the characters: a white space, W and I. You should also know that when using the R+ mode, the file must already exist, otherwise you'll get an error. Python doesn't create the file. If I write here configuration1.txt, of course this file doesn't exist, I'll get an error. No such file or directory, configuration1.txt. Okay, this is basically how we write to text files with Python.